Hi guys, another Halloween project. This one's my wife's idea. She said, as the car is going to be in the driveway on Halloween, it might be fun to have something inside the car that moves to attract people's attention. So I've bought this cheap mask from Poundland. I'm going to put a balloon inside it to fill it out like a head's in there. Probably put some LEDs in the balloon or at the back of the balloon to light it up. And I'll also put a radio control servo on it somewhere to turn it. So I'm going to put a bracket or something to suspend it off the headrest in the car, and then it'll turn when people come in. I could do it with some sort of motion detector, but I think I'll just use radio control because then I'm in full control of it when I want to be. I found a piece of copper pipe in my scrap box, so that's easily bent to the right shape to support the head, and I'll be able to strap it to the headrest in the car to hold it still with some cable ties. Well, that's pretty simple. I'll position it later, but all I'm using there is a little flickering yellow light, tea light. And that lights him up fine, especially if it's going to be in the dark. So that's really easy. And that little tea light will go on for, well, certainly all night anyway, so that's all I need in there. That's a nice white balloon I've put inside the head, or the mask. I'll put the lights back on again now. I've rigged up my servo tester so we can test it without getting all the radio control gear out. So that seems to work. I could just leave it like that, but that's a bit too repetitive. Whereas if I control it with my transmitter, then obviously I can make it react to people as they come by. I've done a little mod to the LEDs as well. This is out of a dynamo light which had two LEDs in it. I've swapped those LEDs out for the flickering yellow ones, and I've extended the wires, so I've now got the little battery box here. So I'll tuck that in behind. Turn the lights out again. So we've got the flickering eyes. Might have to do something down here to cover that over because I don't really want all that light spilling out underneath. Well, that may just be that the balloons slipped down a bit. That's not so bad. Oops. So, I better mount them properly now. Not quite dark enough outside to go and try him out in the car seat, so I've attached him to my suitcase there with the extending arm. So he's just hanging there. So if I turn one of the lights off, if I make it too dark, if I turn the other light off, we can't actually see him. So we'll keep that light on and we'll just move him. So I should be able to follow people who are walking down the driveway. Let him turn his head to follow them. The only question now is, do I add some sort of sound effects? I'll think about that. That might be a separate project. But as it is, that works fine. Just see if I can get a bit closer with the camera so we can see some of the detail. So, cheek mask with a balloon inside, and tucked in the back here is those flickering LEDs. That's the battery for the flickering LEDs, so I can switch it on and off outside. Down there is the servo that turns his head. Down there is the receiver and the battery supply. Come around the other side. So all we've got is a bit of copper pipe here that's convenient to be able to bend to suit. And then what I'll do is I'll actually strap it to the headrest in my car so that it holds him at the right height to be sitting in either the driver's seat or the passenger's seat. But that works absolutely fine. I could just leave a CD player running in the car with typical ghostly music without even having to operate it specifically for the head. So I'll think about that.